Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Lady in our first story is unreasonable for wanting all of the staff to ignore their jobs to take care of her situation. I'm not saying she's unreasonable for having a $6,000 purse. I personally cannot imagine it, but I'm genuinely not judging. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. It's 6:30 a.m. right now, and a guest lost her Louis Vuitton purse. Today, as I'm going into work, there's a lady outside asking a few of us to get a manager right away. It's 6:30 a.m., store's not open, we're here to unload trucks, and she wants to speak to a manager because last night she lost her $6,000 Louis Vuitton purse. The manager goes out and tries to reason with her to wait until open, but no, she said, your store's empty and there's plenty of employees to look for it. Manager tries more to get her to wait until 8 a.m. so they can resolve it. Nothing's in lost and found, and she's not having it. I get it, a $6,000 purse is a lot of money to lose. However, we're not all going to look for it, and if someone found it last night, and I mean anyone, that thing's gone. It's a Louis purse. That thing alone is probably worth more than what's in it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens later. Update 1. Manager grabbed 3 of us to look around the store for the purse. She wasn't happy that only 3 were looking, but went with it. It's been about an hour and no luck finding this purse. Update 2. Security asks for a description of the purse. She responds with, Louis Vuitton, black and brown, $6,000. I laughed a bit because WTF does $6,000 look like? Anyway, we had no luck in finding it, but she's refusing to leave the store until something comes up. Now she's retracing her steps around the store to see if she could find it. She's going around and asking other employees to look around for it. Update 3. Happy and annoying ending. Security tells her that her bag was put into one of her shopping bags last night. Then she smacks her head and says, I'm so sorry. It was raining last night and I didn't want the purse to get wet, so I asked if the cashier could put it in the bag. She then calls her daughter to check the shopping bags and confirms that it's in the bag. She apologizes 100 times and crying/laughing. As soon as I heard that, I almost said, dumb bee, right next to her. I'm just telling myself, it's fine, everything's fine. She has her purse, no one got hurt, no one got fired, no cops, no arrests, just a mistake that's annoying, but everything's fine. Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted a more dramatic ending, like cops involved or an employee stole it. And our second story. I know what's appropriate for my kids. Thanks. So this was back in 2013, right when I was working at a movie theater in my town, right after Wolf of Wall Street came out, and this movie brought in a crowd. Theaters were sold out and packed. Known for its not-so-kid-friendly scenes and was a little too much for most people. Now, working in a movie theater, you can usually just tell after a while what people know what they want and people who think they know what they want but have no idea what they're getting into. For example, those people came in to watch Leo because they love him and will watch whatever he's in without realizing how highly inappropriate the movie is. Normally, mothers come in to buy their teenagers tickets before bouncing thinking it was a Titanic movie, and it's not. Literally, I watched so many people come out 30 minutes in and leave stating how disgusting that movie was. We were told to warn people, especially just Leo fans, not knowing what they were getting into because people were getting mad and freaking out. So when a Karen sporting a self-made bedazzled t-shirt, can I speak to your manager haircut, and cross jewelry came in with one 9-year-old and one 11-year-old came for a ticket, it was too obvious she did not know what she was in for. 3 tickets for Wolf of Wall Street, Karen stated, rummaging through her bag for her wallet. Okay, but so you know it's not kid-friendly, it's R-rated, like really R-rated, I stated as she looked up. It has a scene 30 minutes in which somebody does cocaine off. My kids love Leo, okay? It's my 9-year-old's birthday, and all she wanted was to see this movie. I know it's appropriate for my kids. Thanks, Karen scoffed. Well, whatever you say, Karen. Okay, just 3 tickets? I beamed and sold her the tickets. She was rude and rolling her eyes, smacking her gum till I gave her the tickets. She snatched them out of my hand in satisfaction, giving me a victorious smirk before walking towards the theater. I just waved goodbye. After about 30 minutes after it started, I called my manager out from the office for a refund. He was confused, but I explained why. We waited for the scene. That amazing scene that was too much for almost everyone. Almost on cue, I see a Karen and her children come out of the theater. She's quiet as her kids are quickly following after her, begging for her forgiveness in panic and tears, screaming, "We didn't know!" Karen is emotionless as she walks up slowly and defeatedly to my ticket booth in tears. Tears were just sliding down her cheeks as her kids sobbed and begged for her not to be mad. She couldn't look at me as Karen swallowed and choked out with a shaky breath, "Can I get a refund?" Karen sniffed as my boss did the refund. "And the reason for the refund?" my manager asked as Karen swallowed, embarrassed, unable to look at me. "It's not kid-friendly." Edit. Sadly, she did get a refund due to customer satisfaction policy. With the company I worked at, you can get a refund pretty much up till the credits start. So yeah, they love customers and kiss their butts. And our next story. Woman wants homeless man kicked out of charity shop. Short story from when I volunteered at a charity op shop. The shop I volunteered at was 100% nonprofit, so what little money that was made went to the homeless and at-risk youth. The shop mainly sold things like blankets, children's clothes, and non-luxury items, and the majority of people who shopped there were below the poverty line or straight up homeless. Greta, mean old bag in her 60s. Homeless guy, and me. A nicely dressed woman walks up to the counter and in a louder than normal voice says, "Greta, you there, get off your phone and go see if you have cookie jars." I was not even on my phone. My phone was in my pocket and I was making eye contact before she spoke. Me. "There are some 3 on the shelf just there," points to a shelf not even 10 feet away. Greta huffs like I'm an idiot. "I don't want any of those. I'm looking for collectible ones." Me. "Sorry, that's all we have. We may have some collectible biscuit tins, though." Greta. "I'm not after a stupid tin. I'm looking for vintage novelty cookie jars." Me. "Sorry," cut off by her demanding, "Go look out in the back." Me. "There's no out the back. That's all we have." We immediately put all donated items on the shelf. Greta. "I know there's a back room." Storms off. Immediately after she walked to the back of the very small store, a homeless man walks up and asks if we could hold some items till he could afford them. The items were a blanket, a beanie, and a reusable water bottle. He said he could pay $3 now and get the rest later. The total was $7. I was about to tell him that $3 would be enough to cover all of it when we both hear, "Why put your grubby hands on them if you knew you couldn't afford it?" And "You" looks at me. "Why haven't you kicked him out? Doesn't this store have any class?" Greta, before I could say a thing, "You lied to me. There is a back area." Points to an exit to closed court area we share with another business. Me to the homeless guy, "Would you like a bag of bread as well? We give out free bread." He tried to give me his $3, but I told him it was free and to be safe. Meanwhile, the lady's been swapping between trying to talk over me and mumbling how she knew people who would get me fired. The homeless guy left and I turned my attention back to Greta, but she'd already walked up to the back door that said staff only and made a self-congratulating noise as she rushed through the door to the courtyard and let it slam behind herself. The important thing about the door is you can only open it from the inside. I heard immediately a muffled strand of insults and let me in. My plan was to wait 5 minutes, but less than 1 minute passed, and I could hear the other businesses let her throw their way, followed by a phone call telling me how Greta went off at them and how she would have us shut down. And our last story. Towing guy gets confused for an illegal parker. Context. My dad worked for a towing company which had plenty of contracts with property owners to tow heavy vehicles that are parked illegally. Police officers patrol the properties, spot illegal parkers, and call dispatch up, which they call him to tow. My dad drove a 50-ton quick swap with the company's logo on both sides of the truck. Because of the contracts, he's allowed to park on the owner's properties if he needs to rest, plus it provides a good bait for unsuspecting heavy drivers. Now, on to the story. My dad was in a parking lot taking a quick nap since he'd been driving for a while and it was the middle of the night. He gets a call from dispatch saying there was a private property tow that needed to be picked up. He was given the address, which just so happened to be where he was. He got out of the truck, looked around to see no illegal parker in sight, informed dispatch of this, and ended the call. Before he could get back, a police officer then approached him. The following conversation ensues. D is my dad, P is police officer. P, what do you think you're doing? You can't park here. D, yes, I can. No, you can't. This is private property. I've just called someone to come pick up your truck. Yeah, I know you did. I just got off the phone with dispatch about it. I can't tow myself. Yeah, I highly recommend you leave, because when the towing company arrives, your truck's going to get impounded. Well, they better wake someone up from day shift, because I have the biggest truck in the night shift in the entire company. I know you're being smart. Well, one of us has to be. What do you mean? My dad then pointed to a sign that was at the entrance of the parking lot. Go read out that sign to me. The officer went to the sign and began reading. Reading the sign out loud, commercial vehicles parked without authorization will be removed and impounded at owner's expense. Dad then told the officer to read the bottom of the sign. The officer did just that, then looked at the side of my dad's truck, noticing that the logos match, then realizing the error he made the walk of shame back to his car and left, leaving my dad with a funny story to tell me once he got home that morning. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.